might be a tumor.
It's not a tumor.
The Film Lounge presents...
Spoiler free movie review!
First you gotta do the truffle shuffle. Come on!
With Chris Gooch.
I'm the dude.
Doctor Strange, you think you know how the world works? What if I told you the reality you know is one of many?
This doesn't make any sense.
Not everything does. Not everything has to.
It's like Inception through a kaleidoscope whilst on a shit ton of acid, especially if you're watching it in 3D. Doctor Strange is the 14th film in the Marvel Cinematic Canon that's filled with money and crushed dreams of DC fans, which follows the stellar Phase 3 opener that was Captain America: Civil War. The big question is, how does Marvel's first foray into the psychedelic world of the Sorcerer Supreme shape up? Upon first reflection, it's very much more of the same, but strangely different. So, the story follows Dr. Stephen Strange, a brilliant but arrogant neurosurgeon whose head is so far up his own arse that the resulting assholery finds his hands crippled after a near-fatal car accident. Spending his vast fortune trying to find a cure, he eventually finds himself in Kathmandu training with Tilda Swinton, playing the One Punch Man, as he learns the ways of the mystic arts to become Marvel's first master of the dark arts.
How do I get from here to there?
How did you become a doctor?
Study and practice, years of it.
First things first, you have every person with a speech impediment's favourite actor, Benedict Cumberbatch, playing the title role. And Cumberbatch is Cumber-awesome, and is another example of Marvel's great casting choices. As previously mentioned, we have Tilda Swinton, perfectly paired with Cumberbatch as the wide, old, ancient one, who may or may not be hiding a few anti-aging secrets from people at Ole Regenerist. Whitewashing aside, she has the perfect balance of calm and wisdom for such a role. Director Scott Derrickson, the man behind stellar horror films such as Deliver Us from Evil and Sinister, plays well within the Marvel Universe, giving us some rich settings, good little jump scares, and a type of humor that really grows on you by the end of the film. We have some great little additions such as the Cloak of Levitation, which is almost a character within itself to the point where I just really wanted to see even more of it throughout the movie. Now, your overall enjoyment of the film may be based on your tolerance for the Marvel movie template because, as I said at the beginning, the film is different, but strangely the same.
The Avengers protect the world from physical dangers. We safeguard it against more mystical threats.
The case of the underused villains is once again rearing its ugly head, and Hannibal fans might be particularly upset with how underutilized Mads Mikkelsen is within the main villain role. There's just not enough for him to chew through, with motivations only slightly elevated from Christopher Eccleston's villain in the Thor: The Dark World. You know the one. What's his name? The one with the pointy ears. He was angry for some reason. Never mind. However, despite the lackluster main villain, the film is setting up some very complex villains for possible future installments that could see Marvel finally break that villain curse.
You'll die protecting this world, Mr.
Doctor.
Mr. Doctor.
It's strange.
Maybe. Who am I to judge?
We have Rachel McAdams in the traditional thankless female lead role. Just see Pepper Potts or Jane Foster for a quick, easy reference. She has some fleeting moments throughout the film and a forced love interest narrative, which is ultimately superfluous to the overall story. Once again, check out Gwyneth Paltrow in any Iron Man movie. Although McAdams does have one moment to save our hero's life.
We harness energy and shape reality. We travel great distances in an instant.
Some people have drawn comparisons to movies like Inception and Batman Begins, and whilst I can see some links between these films, they are very tenuous, and Doctor Strange is very much its own thing with respects to these influences. The Batman Begins references are very superficial, and take a backseat to some really interesting dynamics between Doctor Strange, the Ancient One, Baron Mordo, and the Librarian Wong. Whereas the Inception references are merely a starting point for the incredibly layered and complex moving parts that just demand more than one viewing just to absorb how much has been brought to the screen after Christopher Nolan's physics-bending epic. The climax of the film has, yet again, the Marvel death from above trope, which in of itself is disappointing because after some amazing sequences during the film's second act, where characters were falling upwards, sideways, backways, and every other angle in between, it was clear that death didn't necessarily have to come from above. It seems like Hollywood just has a fascination with getting their actors to look up into the sky. Yet, despite being so familiar, much like Guardians of the Galaxy, Derrickson and his team have managed to resolve the climax in a way that's clever, funny, and different from other Marvel movies. And this is clearly where Dan Harmon, the creator of Rick and Morty, makes his influence felt when he was brought in for rewrites.
Why are you showing this to me?
Because I believe you can save the world and defend it from those who would make it their own. Are you ready, Mr. Strange?
It's Doctor, actually.
Finally, your tolerance may be tested yet again by how similar the character of Doctor Strange is to Tony Stark. You know, another arrogant smartass who makes pop culture references when dissing a supporting character and has some distinguished facial hair. Not that there's anything wrong with this. It is very much in line with the character from the comics, but for general moviegoers, characters like Doctor Strange, Tony Stark, and Star-Lord may all be blending into one and just becoming just one large Robert Downey Jr. off. And the only person who wins in a Robert Downey Jr. off is Robert Downey Jr.
There's a strength to him. But is he ready?
Now, this is not me making a list of my own personal complaints of the film. Personally, I love the Marvel movies, and I probably have a bit of an unfair bias towards these films due to a childhood of reading countless comics. But there is no denying that the films do run the risk of becoming stale. Overall, Doctor Strange introduces us to a new, mystic world within the forever expanding Marvel Universe, and even with the interesting mix of same but different, there is no denying that this exciting movie opens up a world of opportunities for other characters in the MCU. And if you want to know more, as always, stay for the end credits sequence. Doctor Strange gets 3.5 out of 5 stars. Or 3.5 out of 5 eye-melting acid trips through an Inception-level wonderland that really shouldn't be visited on a full stomach.
What's this, my mantra?
It's the Wi-Fi password. We're not savages.